Welcome to the Activated Story Theater's 121st podcast.
This episode, we bring you the story of Wiley and the Hairy Man, an African-American story, just in time for Halloween.
Hi, I'm Dennis.
And I'm Kimberly.
And together we are the Activated Actors.
Oh, who's ready for the spookiest holiday of all?
Me.
It's our favorite time of year. We are coming to you from Braintree, Massachusetts.
I have to wonder how they got the name for this town.
I don't think it's because there's any brains growing on trees.
No, but that's a good Halloween story, brains growing on trees.
We have some updates for you from what we've been doing lately, and then we've got a story coming up.
Well, we went to WaterFire.
What's water and fire?
Well, it's fire on the water.
Where is it?
Oh, it's in Providence, Rhode Island.
And it's really neat. They come and at sunset, they row a bunch of boats down the water. It's kind of like there's a canal, I guess it is.
It's a river.
It's
a river.
It's actually a river. It's
Yeah.
not a canal. So
Yeah, there are actually three rivers.
three rivers
in
that
Providence.
come together in Providence, Rhode Island. And they row a boat, and they have these torches that are, well, basically like a campfire. They've got wood on these pillars in the river, and they row by, they light them up.
And they turn out all the street lights for this.
So we've got some pictures of that you can look at on our website.
Nice atmosphere, and they play music.
Yep, lots of people go down there and just walk along the river. And
they have little arts and crafts and food for sale. People posing as statues.
Yes. So lots of fun there. Maybe even people juggling fire and doing some tricks and things. So that was a lot of fun. We did that in Rhode Island.
They have that about every other week during the summer.
During the summer, right. And we have a special guest in the studio today. And I have a question to ask our special guest. I would like to know, Mr. Guest here, are you a book person? And if so, how do you choose a book? Can you please explain it to us?
Hi, I'm LeVar Burton, and I'm proud to be a book person. How do I choose a book? Sometimes it's the cover, sometimes it's the title. I guess I'm pretty visual. If a book's really impressing me and the writing is really good, I will peek and see what the last paragraph is, because the endings of books should rock you. I am a book person, and if you're a book person too, read to a child and spark a lifetime of ambition.
Wow, and he read that without his visor.
You may be familiar with LeVar Burton. He did the Reading Rainbow program that was on PBS. He was also very famous, if you like Star Trek. He was Geordi from Star Trek. So thank you for joining us, LeVar. We appreciate it.
If you want to go back really ancient, he was in the miniseries Roots.
Yes, and I recently saw him on an episode of Face Off.
Face Off?
Yes, it's a program about making Halloween, not Halloween, but special effect makeup for movies and whatnot. And he was one of the judges on there. So there you go. Thanks, LeVar, for joining us today. We appreciate it.
Your check is in the mail.
If you are a book person, and how do you choose a book? And if you'd like to tell us, you can call our toll-free number. That number is 1-800-429-6576. It won't cost you anything. Just call 1-800-429-6576 and let us know if you're a book person and how do you choose a book. And if you do, we'll probably play your voice on our podcast. So give us a call.
If you feel like sending someone a letter, if anybody still sends letters these days.
Oh yes, I mean, speaking of phone calls, you want to communicate another way.
If you've been following us for a while and you're familiar with our story of the coyote and the eagle, we actually did it on one of our podcasts, and I think the first one, in fact.
Several times on stage. Yeah, I think that's podcast number 1.
But we have done it on stage. Native American story. There's a line in it about putting our pictures on stamps.
That's right.
So we decided to take that literally.
That's right. So we have put the coyote and eagle and some of our other famous storybook characters, their pictures are now on stamps. So if you would like to get a stamp with a little bit of character, you should get our stamps. The stamps are available at Zazzle.com, and I'll put a link in the show notes. Show notes will be on our website, activatedstorytheater.com, in our blog section, or also at activated.libsyn.com. libsyn.com, and Libsyn is LIBSYN.com. So there'll be a link. You'll find stamps with the characters on them. Also, the proceeds will help go to support the arts. So appreciate that. If you want to get some fun stamps, get some coyote, eagle, and some monkey and hat seller stamps. Well, we have a story for you, and this is getting ready just in time for Halloween. Halloween's coming up at the end of October. Actually, we will have one more podcast before Halloween, but we like to get in the mood early, don't we?
Yes, we do.
This story is called Wiley and the Hairy Man.
A long time ago, there was a boy named Wiley who lived with his mother near a swamp. One day, Wiley decided he'd go down to the swamp to cut some bamboo for poles.
Wiley, be careful going to that swamp. Take the dogs with you, because the hairy man will get you if you don't watch out.
The hairy man?
Yes, they say he lives in the swamp, but they also say he's afraid of dogs.
Don't worry, Mama. I'll watch out, and I'll be sure the dogs are always close to me.
But when he got to the swamp, his dogs saw a wild boar and took off chasing after it.
Wait, come back! You can't bring home that bacon! Oh no, they're gone! I sure hope that hairy man's nowhere around here.
Wiley started chopping down bamboo poles with his axe. But then he heard something coming through the trees, and when he looked up, there was the hairy man. There was no doubt that's who he was, 'cause he was a man, and he was covered with hair, and he was huge, with big sharp teeth and eyes that burned like coal, and he had a big sack on his big hairy back. Well, Sir, Wiley climbed up that tree faster than a squirrel, and the hairy man came and stood at the tree and looked up at him.
Hey, little boy, what you doing up in that tree? You might fall and hurt yourself.
I'll take my chances. What's in your big old sack?
Nothing. At least, not yet. Hey, looks like you left your axe down here. You shouldn't leave axes behind. They're worth a lot of points in Scrabble.
Hey, you're chopping the tree down. What are you doing? It might fall.
Bright boy. Just give me a few minutes, and I'll show how right you are.
Fly, Chips, fly. Fly back to where you came from.
You're talking to wood chips. Maybe I spoke too soon about you being bright. Next thing you know, you'll have pet rocks or something. Huh? What's this? The chips really are flying back into the tree? I'll have to chop faster.
Fly faster, Chips. Fly. Back up to your same old place even faster.
I don't believe this. The chips are moving faster because he told them to. I can't even get my wife to listen to me. Oh, just wait until I hear dogs.
Yes! Here, dogs. Over this way.
No! I better get out of here!
So Wiley went back home, and he told his mother what had happened.
Well, was the hairy man carrying a sack?
Yes, he was.
Well, the next time he comes after you, here's what you do.
Mom, why are you whispering? There's nobody else around.
Oh, I guess I just wanted to make it more dramatic so you'd pay attention.
Well, the next time he went into the swamp, and I don't know why he went back after his first adventure. I certainly wouldn't. But he did, and he saw the hairy man again coming through the trees and swinging his sack.
Hello, hairy man.
Hello, lad. I'm surprised to see you here again.
Well, I just had to come back to see you because I hear that you're the best conjure man in the country.
The best what?
Conjure man, you know, magical dude.
Oh, yes. That I am.
Well, I bet you can't change yourself into a giraffe.
Sure I can.
All right, then. Let's see you.
Why should I stick my neck out for you?
Oh, no reason. I guess people were wrong about you. You're a phony conjure man, a conjure con. You couldn't turn yourself into a jellyfish, much less a giraffe.
Oh yeah? I'll show you, you little brat.
And right before Wiley's eyes, the hairy man twisted around, and he did indeed turn himself into a giraffe. And the hairy man said, "There, I showed you," but Wiley didn't hear it, because he said it in giraffe.
Well, I guess you showed me, but you know, I imagine turning yourself into a giraffe is really not that hard. If you were a really good conjure man, you could turn yourself into an alligator. Wow, you did it again. You turned yourself into a crocodile. It was supposed to be an alligator, but maybe you're hard of hearing. I guess you're a pretty good conjure man after all. But, you know, if you were really the best conjure man around, you could turn yourself into a possum.
Wiley grabbed that possum and threw it into the hairy man's sack, and he tied the sack as tight as he could. Then he threw the sack into the river. Then he went back home, and he told his mother what happened.
I think I got rid of him for good this time, Mama. I threw him in the river.
But, child, he might have turned himself into wind and blown right out of that bag, and he might have followed you to see where you live. But you fooled him twice. If you can fool him one more time, he'll go away and never come back. I think it's a union rule or something. So listen, dear, go out to the pig pen and bring me a little piglet.
So Wiley brought in a piglet, and his mother put him in Wiley's bed.
Mom, that's not what I meant when I said I wanted a stuffed animal for my bed.
Be patient, dear. The hairy man will come around tonight. They always wait until after dark to come.
Why?
Even monsters follow tradition.
And sure enough, that night, when the clouds smothered the moon, and the wind stabbed the trees, and all of nature performed all manner of ghastly metaphors, they did indeed hear the hairy man's big feet thumping up the walkway.
Okay, Wiley, the show is starting. Climb up into the loft and be quiet. Yes, what is it?
It's the person of excessive follicular growth, and I've come for that young'un of yours.
Sorry, we don't give to solicitors.
You'd better give to this one, or else.
Or else what? You'll huff and puff and blow my house down?
No, I'll set your house on fire with lightning.
I have lots of sweet milk, hairy man, to put out your fire. So there.
I'll make your cow's milk dry up. I'll dry up your spring. I'll send 1,000,000 boll weevils out of the ground to eat up your cotton. Give me your young one, or you'll regret it.
All right then, all right. But listen, if I do give you the young'un, will you promise you'll go away and never come back?
Okay, I promise.
So Wiley's mother opened the door.
Come on in. Be sure and wipe your shoes. I normally insist that visitors take their shoes off, but I doubt if your feet would be any improvement.
Where's the young'un?
Oh, he's right over there in that bed.
Come on here, little brat. Try to hide under the covers, eh? Well, you won't get away from me. I have a nice, big, empty sack just for you. What's this? There's nothing in this bed but a young pig.
That's right. I never said which young'un I'd give you.
But,
The hairy man stomped his feet and gnashed his teeth and raged and bellowed, but he knew he'd been outsmarted. So he grabbed the piglet and fled away into the swamp. And he never bothered Wiley and his mother again. But they say he's still out there in the swamp somewhere, so if you ever go out there...
Maybe you should take a dog with you. So that's the story of Wiley and the Hairy Man.
That's a story obviously from the southern United States.
Is it obvious?
Well, they talk about swamps, and I think it's pretty obvious.
And Scrabble.
And Scrabble, yeah.
I like Scrabble. Okay, but I don't understand why Wiley has these magic powers in the first scene and then he doesn't.
Well, I think it's the idea that when crisis strikes, you can do things that you never thought you could do.
You think
Something
so?
like that, yes.
This is kind of interesting.
That's kind of interesting.
But Wiley, he's pretty wily.
He's pretty wily,
He
yes.
is pretty wily.
Yes, he's wily as a coyote.
Yes, he ends up tricking the Hairy Man. He and his mother end up tricking the Hairy Man.
Yes. And there's also, in some versions of the story, there's the second time that Wiley tricks the Hairy Man. He actually tricks him twice at once. He tricks him into making rope disappear, and the rope is tying up his dogs, and then the dogs come after the Hairy Man. But to me, that's actually tricking him 4 times. So we just eliminated that one.
Oh, okay. And then there's also, like, this dog in the first one, but there's not a dog in the second 2 times.
Right.
But good thing to know that the Hairy Man is afraid of dogs.
Yes.
So if you go through dog
So if you go walking through the swamps, take along a hot dog for lunch.
No! I think the alligators, the crocodiles might like that. Well, we do have one more episode before Halloween, so if you have a request for a special scary folktale that you'd like to hear on the next podcast, give us a call, 800-429-6576, and let us know what story you'd like to hear. The story today, by the way, was requested by one of our activated fans. Somebody who came to one of our shows said they like this story, so this is a story by request, and we do stories by request. Let us know what story you'd like to hear. So we do folktales, so I can't do anything that's written by a famous author or something like that, but we do any type of folktales. That's what we like to do. One more thing, we do have a couple shows coming up. We are going to be performing in New Jersey at the Ramsey Library on September 27th. That will be a 4:30 show, so it'll be after school. Come on by the library and hang out with us. We're going to have some fun putting on some shows. If you get there by 4 o'clock, you can be in the show. We've got some parts that you can learn. So that's going to be in Ramsey, New Jersey. And if you're in Massachusetts, we have a show coming up in Massachusetts on October 13th. We are going to be at the Peabody Essex Museum.
How appropriate, the 13th.
In Salem, Massachusetts. And we're going to be there for a special event that's featuring hats and costumes. So we're going to be doing 2 stories. The story of the hat seller and the monkey, and the story of Mulan. So definitely could use you in that show. There are going to be 2 programs there. We have a 1 o'clock show and a 3 o'clock show. We will be casting special guest stars in both of those shows. So come to the Peabody Essex Museum in Salem, Massachusetts. Put it on your calendar. That's going to be October 13th. Those are the only public shows. Everything else we have right now is school performances. If you want to get us at your school, give us a call, 800-429-6576, or send us an email. You can visit our website, activatedstorytheater.com. I do have one more request, and that is a great way to help people find out about our podcast. If you enjoy listening to the podcast and you think other people would enjoy listening to the podcast, I think everybody should listen to the podcast, all you have to do is leave a review or give us a thumbs up on iTunes, and that will help people find our podcast so that they can listen too. There's also some special treats on our website. There is a maze that you can download, and you can see some photos from our show. So stop by our website, activatedstorytheater.com.
And stay spookily activated.
We'll catch you next time.
Activated Story Theater is committed to bringing fun, educational shows to schools and libraries nationwide. On stage, we use physical comedy, American Sign Language, imaginative props, and a giant, oversized book to bring multicultural folktales to life. For booking information, check out our website, activatedstorytheater.com. www.activatedactors.com, where you can also find out when the activated actors will be performing near you, read a story, or order one of our audio CDs. You can subscribe to this podcast on iTunes or listen on Stitcher. We look forward to your comments and folktale suggestions. Stay activated. Until next time.